Yeah, it's great. I mean, I did play some guitar during the time I was on bass with Oasis, but that was mainly in the studio and mainly acoustic stuff, which is probably what I do the most of. But getting back on electric was really, really cool. Learning to work a pedal board again. So much has changed in the pedal world since I was using pedals. I mean, I stopped about 97, 98, and the years went by, and now you can do almost anything. I started playing the guitar at age 9. Actually, before that, I had ukuleles and stuff knocking around the house. There's pictures of me with little ukuleles at about age 4, but I was using them as Action Man boats rather than guitars. But I started lessons at 9 at school, and had a couple, and then I broke the guitar. I kept leaning it. I won't demonstrate the whole thing, but I was leaning it up on things like straight like that, and it would just fall over, and the head came off a few times. I'll just give this to you for the moment. So yeah, I didn't stay at the lessons in school. I just learnt by ear, which is why my chords are all funny. My E's are wrong. Like a normal E is like that, but mine's like that. And little quirky things like that. Well, about age 9 it was the Beatles. I was sort of learning from a Beatles songbook and learning off the radio, and you know, just wherever I could see chords. And my uncle Peter, was a folk guitarist. He taught me a couple of like folk song type things that were G, C, D and that kind of thing. But as far as bands, it was the Beatles. And then age 13, 83, Smiths came out. Johnny Marr was a huge influence on me. For a few years I was just soaking up his style, and that's what I was really doing when Mark Gardner and me started playing guitar together at school. He was the other guitarist in Ride. So we bonded over the Smiths and Johnny Marr's playing, and from there I went to the Stone Roses, John Squire, and by the time John Squire was around I was pretty much ready to form a band. I mean, I was soaking up a lot of stuff from different places like the Stones, and starting to get into things like the Byrds, and you know, that's why as soon as Ride got signed I got a 12-string Rickenbacker. And then I had that, and I learned a lot of my playing was just very stiff because of the 12-string. Then Graham Coxon from Blur, that Blur just came out, and he was using a Les Paul, so he showed me Les Paul, and just his style was all bendy, everything was all bendy, and I couldn't get my head around it. Well, in Rickenbacker you just can't do that, you're up against a brick wall. So he showed me the Les Paul, and I immediately got one, and that was the whole sound of the second Ride album was all about the string bending. And we took it from there. Yeah, it's been great, really good. I mean, we're going to go on stage for the first show in Glasgow, which is 2 months ago or so, beginning of April, I think. I had no idea whether, I mean, watching the support band I was thinking, yeah, they seem to like him, you know, he's doing alright, I wonder if it'll be any different for us. And we came on, and it basically turned into just a heaving mosh pit, which was great, and everyone was singing along to all the words of the songs. So the album had only been out for about 4 days, so this was astonishing, really. The crowds who've been getting a gig seem to have just got on board with the material. They seem to have the album, seem to like it. I get a lot of good comments from people that come up to me outside the gig, you know. As far as reviews in the press, we've got some really nice reviews over the magazines and papers in England and Europe, and possibly America too. Not so much in America, but we're going to work on you guys later. Yeah, well, I'm playing a Trini Lopez most of the time. I have a 355 as well. Sorry, 335.
Tell us about the Trini.
I'm sorry, the numbers. I call them the red one and the black one. But the red one is a Trini Lopez, which actually Noel Gallagher borrowed for a couple of Oasis tours, and he used it, I think, maybe on one or two songs, and on an 18-month world tour it followed us all the way around the world. And then the tour finished, and I went back to Sweden, and he came through the post. It got FedEx back to me in Sweden. The guy arrived, opened the case, and the head was off. And it was like, how could it make it through this whole world tour and then just like arrive at my door in pieces? But at that stage I hadn't really played it much myself. I got it fixed up by a guy called Philippe Debray in London, who's a real genius with that kind of repair jobs, and he builds guitars too. He's great. He put it together and it literally is better than it was before. It's so solid. And the other guitars, you know, you pick up a guitar and you just think, you know what, this guitar, I know if I play it it's gonna go out of tune if I'm on the seventh fret or something. Whereas the Trini is solid all the time. And I do play a 335 as well, which is this black one, like an early 70s one, which is a little bit rawer, a little bit more leery. Yeah, the Beady Eye sound is, I mean, it's hard to talk about there's no kind of purpose, there wasn't any purpose in mind. We're going for this sound kind of thing. It was more like what we do is what Beady Eye is going to be. And I guess what we do, if you want to try and define that, we're into songs, arrangements of songs being pretty lean and mean, not too many solos, not too much overlaid stuff, quite a live feel, and not too much processing on the sound. So I mean, I'm not using, although I have got quite a big pedal board, mainly it's just different choices of drives and distortions. I'm not doing too much else to the sound. So yeah, it's the idea of it is pretty simple, and what I like about these guitars is they do sound good going straight into an amp. So I have a little Marshall 20-watt head, a nice old Marshall cab. There's no other amps going on, it's just that. The sound goes into like a Tube Screamer or a MXR, and then it might go into a little delay, but it's not, you know, not much. So what I like about the guitars is the source material is there, you know, the source sound's there. Yeah, I mean this weaving thing, we talk about that a lot. I guess it's when you haven't really got a defined role between the lead guitarist and rhythm guitarist. You just both weave around each other, and that is really what me and Gem have learnt to do over the last couple of years. We didn't know whether we were going to gel as a guitar team, you know, but it seems to be working really well. We actually booked rehearsals before the rehearsals. The band was going to rehearse, and this is for the first time, with Chris Sharrock on drums and Jeff Wharton on bass. Me and Gem thought, well, you know, why don't we just get some rehearsals before the rehearsals? So we went in for 2 weeks and just played around together in this room and started weaving. Chris, well, he's the best drummer I've ever played with, and I played with some really good drummers. I mean, Los Colbert from Ride is an astonishing drummer, real Keith Moon, Mitch Mitchell, jazzy style, really great. I mean, a lot of different interests. He likes Indian music, he likes hip hop. He's got his tabla thing, and he's just an all-round great drummer and great guy. Alan White, who I started playing with before actually Oasis, I played with Gaz Farmer with Hurricane. He's an open-handed drummer, so it's all a different style, but he had a real definite style of his own, like the left-handed guy on a right-handed kit. So it's like this instead of like this, it kind of changes the style. It's cool. That's Gaz. Then Alan White, who I played with in Oasis first, taught me to play the bass really, because I didn't really know anything about bass playing apart from that you're supposed to stick with the kick drum. So that's what I kind of tried to do, and me and Alan did develop a real bass and drum kind of, I guess, telepathy or something, you know, where we just I'll be able to finish a song without looking at him. I'd know when he was going to, you know, hit the drums without seeing him. But he did make me deaf in one ear, because I got so close to him on the first Oasis tour with Alan that he killed my left ear with his cymbals, which ain't going to come back. after Alan, I played with Steve White, his brother, who was a real heavy-hitting rock drummer, who was great as well. And then Zach Starkey came along, who was an absolutely astonishing drummer. He's got all the best things about Ringo, his dad, and Keith Moon, who taught him, and everything else along the way. I mean, he's a real... He grew up with punk rock, so he's got a whole other set of tastes too in his playing. He's great. And from Zach we went to Chris, and if I forgot someone, don't shoot me. Chris Sharrock for Oasis, I'd say he's sort of like me and Gem in that when he joined the band he didn't have to learn the songs, he knew them. When I first played Champagne Supernova, I didn't necessarily know the exact notes to hit, but I had the feeling, I knew where I was going with it, and Chris has got that same thing where he's familiar enough with the parts to play that he just does it without thinking, whereas he wouldn't, with Zach or Alan, they'd have to be told, well, the part goes like this. With Chris it was like, well, I know Supersonic, I know Live Forever, these are like riffs on the drums, you know, you can't really change them.